Thanks for watching the number one podcast in the wrestling community. I'm your host, Juan.
And I'm your host for the second time today, Jean-Paul Leck.
And together we are
Rope Break.
Rope Break. How's our Rope Break family today? Hope all of you are doing absolutely great. Hey, we're still here. We don't have coronavirus, so we're good. That means we're gonna keep going. We're gonna keep doing our show. We gotta talk like this because no, we're good. We're just messing around with all of you guys. Thanks for watching all of our videos. Don't forget, we have this week already Monday Night Raw with Jean-Paul Leck. That was a great video. A decent show, I want to say. The wheels for WrestleMania are going faster than ever, and it was really a great show. I will say a main event, boring. Like another Seth Rollins, Kevin Owens thing.
Another Monday Night Messiah feud where with the same 8 guys. We've seen it once, like we said, we've seen it once, we've seen it twice, we've seen it 1,000 times.
Yes,
but, I like, at least like you said, a little bit of build towards WrestleMania, but it wasn't anything spectacular. Like I always say, if you miss the shows, you know right where to come, and that's right here on Rope Break.
And that's the only avenue that you should go, guys. We had AEW with Jean Paul this morning. Absolutely great review. They put at least they're solid. I will say, lately they've been solid shows. Like you said in the title and in the thumbnail. Last Archer, with the Snake Rover, is a little bit disturbing. We don't know where that's going. I was thinking Brody Lee for me, but
I mean, I'm fine with Lance Archer. The only thing, like I said, I didn't like is when he debuted. It wasn't like anything. It wasn't like a debut. No debut will be like as good as Kane. But I mean, you can at least kind of do something similar. You got to make it dramatic, make it cool. Not like in the early goings of this match, you just come walking down the through the crowd or whatever it was, and then it was like Jim Ross. Like I said, he just woke up. Oh, that's Lance Archer. Like, wow, dude. I pretty much, I think I compared it to Morrison.
Yeah,
When
it was
Morrison
as bad.
It was like really. So that's, to me. Besides that, man, it was a great show. Lots of great tag team action. A great women's match for once. So lots of good stuff on Dynamite.
I will say from that show, that was my favorite part. I would say Bea Priestley, Nyla Rose, Statlander, Hikaru Shida, 4 women. I would say that's 4 of the best talent that they have in the women's division. I was laughing, I was laughing my ass off when I was Britt Baker and Big Swole because of the baby and they go back and forth. I really like that, real life situations brought back to the storylines. I really like that. And the review with Jean Paul. Hope Excalibur, you were listening to it because hey, we want to hope you haven't subscribed yet, Excalibur. So please, if you haven't, do it. So of course, today, family, we gotta cover the other great show of the Wednesdays. The Wednesday Night Wars are still on. This time for the Performance Center, Mr. Leck. Is worth noting that also Smackdown is going to be held in the Performance Centers, and any upcoming Monday Night Raws, NXTs, and everything WWE related is going to be held in the Performance Center due to concern to the coronavirus. But we also have breaking news on the status of WrestleMania. Is it still on? Is it still off? No, is it still on, guys? We have had confirmation that the authorities have said WrestleMania is still on, and Jean Paul just mentioned why.
I was gonna say, to me, I just all I can think about is Vince McMahon. It's like, nope, I want that money. They went over to Saudi Arabia right when this thing started to take off, and Saudi Arabia is one of those countries that got hit hard. And Vince still went over there. He endangered the talent. Yeah, go over there. Yeah, wrestle. We need this money. So to me, WrestleMania won't be canceled unless there's a countrywide quarantine.
Yes.
Unless it reaches that point, he's going to have the show.
Exactly. So they need those 10 millions that generate WrestleMania. I think it's more than 10 million, but at least
I'm sure
10 million, I think is Tampa, 10 pure million for the city. So also Tampa is looking out for that. But it's our time to talk about NXT, like I said. And NXT gave us a really solid show. We're going to start from the beginning like usual. And NXT North American Championship match. Our boy, Baz in his glory. Kid Lucius Lee against Cameron Grimes. Great match.
Great opening match.
Yeah, and I think the energy from the crowd in the Performance Center was pretty good.
Yeah, and that's the one. I don't know if maybe they took the normal, because you see a lot of the same faces in the Full Sail crowd. So I don't know if maybe they just had a lot of them. Maybe they had them do like a test, go to the doctor. Okay, you're legit. You can come to the performance center. It didn't look like a crowd that like of all WWE plants. Like, oh, let's just take friends and family, put them in there and pretend it's a crowd. It didn't look like that. It looked like like a legit crowd. So that was cool to see that in there. And I wonder now how, if that is the case going forward. I know SmackDown, like you said, will be in the Performance Center. I don't know if that is the city of Detroit or if that's just WWE. Maybe Detroit doesn't want anybody coming in. I don't know what all the details on that are, but if every show is in the Performance Center, Raw, SmackDown, everything moving forward, I want to see how those shows' energies are. Because I
Yes.
want to see, if it's, how that is compared to a normal Raw and SmackDown. But like you said, the energy was good in this tonight, and this was a great opening match. And Cameron Grimes, he looked good, I thought. Even though, like, in a loss, he still looked good. And because he was able to counter pretty much all of Keith Lee's, finishers and signatures up until the very end.
Yeah, like it was a pretty strong, legit opening match. I will say though, not too like long, kind of like
Mm-hmm.
short. And I will say maybe because again, the one thing we want to like make sure we put first and foremost, this time the performance center was used because Full Sail had previous like they was booked already, had previous commitments. It's
Mm-hmm.
not due to the coronavirus,
Yeah,
so we're
yeah,
gonna make
yeah.
that
Yeah.
very
It wasn't.
clear.
It wasn't anything like a lot of these
Coronavirus related.
places. Yeah, yeah. A lot of these places are doing this like in advance. Like they're not like, oh, there was an incident here and now we're quarantined. They're just taking like precautionary methods. So that's what like Detroit and all that's doing. But like you said, Full Sail, they had something booked and they're like, hey, normally you guys pre-tape. It's not a big deal. Now you're live. Sorry. Gotta
Exactly.
find
So it's
someone.
two different things. If we want to make sure that like that's clear, that for all of you family that watch us, so it was something completely unrelated. But
Hmm.
like you said, like the match ended up being really, really good. Cameron Grimes looks good, but we knew that they were not going to do a title switch
Yeah.
on these conditions. So we knew that like at the end of the day, when it was all said and done, Keith Lee was going to be able to retain his North American Championship, which he did. Match looks good. Both men look good. And actually, we had some post-match situations that to me is the meet and greet of the whole this first segment that opened up NXT. So
Yeah.
we're gonna go like usual, Jean Paul, with our best highlights, like you always like to amplify what happens in the match. So we're going with like Cameron Grimes tried to suplex Kid Lee, but it didn't work. So then Lee nailed a crossbody block that took them both of the men out. Then Grimes nailed some of the super kicks and a suplex for a 2 count. But then Grimes nailed a DDT for a 2 count. He hit another super kick. Then Kid Lee nailed, the Big Bang Catastrophe. One, two,
Hmm.
three, and done. Like Baz in his glory. Everybody's excited. But right after that, post match, there's Damian Priest with what it is, a stick
Either like
pipe.
a baton, yeah, or
Yeah,
like a
like what the cops
baton.
have.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
he comes in with a pipe, then he whacks Kid Lee. It's like it's done. It's like I hate you. Like give me my title and everything. So Kid Lee is like groggy. He's like holding his head. Damian Priest leaves, and then right away Dominic Dijakovic comes back. Dijakovic like of course forces Damian Priest to leave the ring and everything. But then Kid Lee like doesn't even realize that
Hmm.
like he thinks that like that Dijakovic was the one that attacked him and not Damian Priest. So he didn't even see that. So Dijakovic like lips him up and then thinking, okay, sorry, bro. Hey, so I'm sorry. Like he's like, are you alright? And
Hmm.
Dijakovic gets really upset and he does the spirit bomb on Kid Lee does the spirit bomb on Dominic Dijakovic.
Yeah, and
So
and I was like you said, that was the main part of this segment, and you knew this little back and forth with Cameron Grimes. It was just here, and then it was done. It was just, hey, Keith Lee has another title defense under his belt, and but like you said, though, it doesn't take away from the match. It was like, not to go back into the match, but like it had a good. There was some good storytelling in it. Cameron Grimes, like I said, he looked good. Hit a huge German suplex onto Keith Lee and all that. It looked good, and but with Keith Lee, all it takes is one big bang catastrophe and done. And I saw people online. They're like, "Oh, is Keith Lee heel? Is Keith Lee heel because he attacked Dijakovic?" And I'm like, like really? Like, can I live? You know what I mean? It's like these people, they don't
can
even.
I release?
Yeah, like you don't even clearly see that Cameron Grimes came in and hit him in the back with the
And Damian
baton,
Priest. Damian
yeah,
Priest, yeah.
the Billy Club, yeah, Damian Priest hit him in the back, and it was like, Keith Lee, he didn't even look, he didn't even see who it was. Now this sets up with if anything, maybe Dijakovic will turn heel.
Maybe.
This is
Maybe.
all, and the great thing about this, and it makes me like Damian Priest's character even more, is like it just adds to his like this is what he's willing to do. Like he's probably loving this that Keith Lee attacked Dijakovic instead of him.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So it's like he's like playing mind games with the two of them because now he's going to
Absolutely.
turn them against each other because they had respect for each other. Yeah, they were rivals, but they had respect. Now he's making it that bridge is starting to burn. So to me that it's really cool and it adds to his character, which is something I like. How they're building this super solid mid card.
And see, Jean Paul though is gonna end up being an NXT Takeover Tampa that so far till this now is still going on. So what it end up being then? And you know this because you know when I love to say these words. It's gonna be one.
You're like Teddy Long +1. It's
Yes.
a triple threat.
Yes, it's gonna be a triple threat match for the North American Championship. You're seeing it right here on Robrick. Damian Priest, Dijakovic, Keith Lee, North American Championship on the line. Done. Booking. That's all it is. That's all you need.
Yeah. I mean, if you're asking me, I would just do a one-on-one. I would just do Lee versus a Priest because Dijakovic is probably because his back was injured and he was out for how long, and then he eats a spirit bomb with an injured back. So he's probably going to be out even longer. So I would just do the singles match, but I would not be upset with that triple threat at all, though. Because with those three guys in the ring.
But if you pay attention to detail, like you're doing, Jean Paul, that will make absolute sense. Mm-hmm. If you will go the route that you just said, like his back was hurt. Hey, spirit bomb once again. I'm done. I have coronavirus, even more done. So, but no, I think that they're going to have maybe a triple threat. I wouldn't be upset if they do Priest and Keith Lee. To me, like that's even a strong feud because see, Priest is like a really legit heel. He's more powerful as heel. He's more, I will say, like credible as a heel. So why not just have that feud? So that was a really hot start for NXT, Jean Paul. And now we go to like the first out of the two qualifiers for the ladder match at NXT TakeOver Tampa for the #1 contender for the women's championship, and that's Mia Yim against Dakota Kai.
Really and tell me your thoughts on the ending of this match. It was a good match, and I just want to say I'm a big fan of Mia Yim's. Like, I know a lot of people are sour on her gimmick. They're like, oh, we don't care about, like, the thug, the gangster, like, whatever you want to call her. To me, I don't care. As soon as that bell rings, she's out there. She's legit. All her moves are good. She can actually wrestle. So I don't care what the hell the gimmick is. If you can wrestle, you're good in my eyes. So I think she's good. I love Dakota Kai. And when I saw who the winner was, like I said, at first I was like, really? Like, Mia Yim is going to win? But then as I'm thinking about it all, I'm like, you know what? No, it all makes sense to me. And I'm going to tell you why after, you take us through the match and stuff. But, like, were you surprised as well by the winner?
Kind of. But, yeah, because, for example, you and me predicted that it was going to be Dakota Kai and Tegan Knox having qualifier matches. And if everything will make sense, both of them will qualify, and then they will keep the feud going in the ladder match. In the theme of the match, the feud will keep going. But I'm thinking that it might go the other way around. And like you said, I'm going to tell you once I'm done with the highlights of the match. But the whole thing about this match was also Raquel Gonzalez. Raquel, like a lot of people want me to say it. She's the one that got involved. It was kind of like, to me, she's getting involved way too much. That would be my only thing.
Yeah,
like,
I think
she plays her things way too much.
Yeah,
I don't know, it's just me.
I think it's a way to just kind of maybe build heel heat for them. The only problem with it is it makes Dakota Kai look really weak.
Yes.
Which, like, Dakota Kai has looked strong, like in her match with Tegan Knox, kicking out of the Shining Wizard and all that stuff, like super legit. But then in other moments, like in this match, she looked really weak. Like Mia Yim just like, if there was no Raquel Gonzalez, Mia Yim would have like dominated and wiped the floor with her. Yeah. And it's like you shouldn't be presenting her in that way. She's climbing the ranks to be one of your top heels, in NXT. But then you're kind of stifling her momentum by doing stuff like this. But so I agree with you on that 100%.
Oh yeah, and so like let's go and talk about the highlights, Mr. Leek. Kai and Yim go on their feet, and then Yim hit a couple of clotheslines. Then she drop kick. Then she drop kick her into the corner and hit a cannonball. Legit spot. Like you said, those two have chemistry together. They've been able to put great matches. And another one for them right here. Then Kai hit a devastating back move and got a 2 count. Then Dakota Kai wasn't happy at all because it's like, come on, ref. Even Raquel Gonzalez like, come on, come on. It's like it's not 2K20. Go and come
Yeah.
on. Yeah. And then Kai started to kicking Yim in the face. Then Yim dodged a kick and got a roll up for a 2 count. And then Yim dug under a running kick to the corner and power bomb her down. But Gonzalez, here's the thing. Gonzalez caused a break of the count, and then he kicked her out of the ringside, and then Yim hit a code breaker and won.
Mm-hmm.
So
she had her up for the power bomb, and it was like super delayed because Dakota Kai kind of grabbed onto the ropes or onto like the apron pad, or not the apron, the turnbuckle pad.
Yes.
And then she eventually hit the power bomb. I mean, huge power bomb, but she hit it. And then, like you said, Raquel kind of grabbed Mia Yim's foot and like yanked her off the cover. But it was like it was a really delayed power bomb and all this stuff. I'm like, she should have been able to kick out of that on her own.
Yes.
It should have been like maybe after she kicks out, maybe you have Raquel jump up on the apron and punch Mia Yim or something. Like it to keep breaking her out of pinfalls. It just makes her look weak. I don't know, but like you said, then she hits the code breaker and done. And when she won, like I said, I was surprised, and I thought, really Mia Yim. Not that again, like, I'm a big fan of hers, but my reason is that like she was kind of on the back burner, and if she's not gonna win, why would she move? Or if she's not gonna like win this ladder match, why would she move on? Because she's not in a feud with anybody. And I was like, Tegan Nox makes more sense. And then I was thinking when we got after the second qualifying match, I was like, you know what? I think that this all makes sense because you're going to put these other women in there because Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez are going to show up anyway. It's a ladder match. It's no DQ. It's a no DQ. Exactly. They can just walk down to the ring. Tegan Nox climbing that ladder. Crowd is going crazy. She's going to win. All the other women are laid out. Nobody's moving. Tegan Nox is the clear winner. Boom. They come. They push that ladder over. She falls. Raquel Gonzalez pushes the ladder over. Tegan Nox goes to the fallen body of Dakota Kai, goes to the fallen Tegan Nox, starts beating her up, and then the other 5 women, duke it out, and then whoever, wins that match is the number 1 contender. But to me, that's going to continue their feud, and it just makes sense because, like I said, even though she's not in the match, she'll be there anyway, so.
And then I want all of you, please, to hear what this stallion just said. I want you to open your ears, pay close attention, because I already gave you the prediction right there. This man right here already booked it to you. So if that exactly goes the way he just said it, please give this man a job, because that's what I was thinking too. I was thinking that will be the way that you keep both of these women feuding and you keep Raquel Gonzalez also involved in this. And that's the reason why Mia Yim got a chance. So also you can feature other women on this. So post-match, Gonzalez got in the ring and they both of them, Dakota Kai and Gonzalez, they destroy Mia Yim. Then we go to another, the arrival of Tommaso Ciampa to the Performance Center. He's going to be talking to Johnny Gargano, had a thing with Johnny Gargano. So we move on to a guy that was kind of lost in the shuffle, and so far is still lost in the shuffle. Kushida going against Raul Mendoza. Good match. Quick.
Yeah, I love Kushida's entrance. I love how he comes out. He has the glasses. I love the Back to the Future Marty McFly look.
Yes.
The blue lights. I mean, to me, it looks legit. You got to have you got to get a title on this guy. I don't even care if it's a tag team title, whatever. Coming out, the light reflecting off the belt, everything. To me, he looks so legit. So let's get going, WWE. Come on, Triple H. Come on, Paul. Let's go here.
Come on, Jean Paul or Paul? But anyway,
Jean Paul he'd be draped in gold if I was booking NXT.
He'll be like NXT champion.
Yeah, he'd be like Perk Angle, dude. He'd have 10 belts on him, dude.
And then see, the thing is, I don't know, and this is just me, and I don't aim to elaborate, but why don't these, put this guy they feature what they did with Nakamura? Put him legit feuds, right away, legit storylines from the get-go.
Yeah, I would say, him and Nakamura are kind of two different beasts. Nakamura's that super strong style. Kushida is not like wimpy in the ring or anything, but he's more of like the cruiserweight, springboard, stuff like that. So to me, it would be perfect. Like again, eventually, I could even see him. Like, imagine if some point Damian Priest is the North American champion, and you don't go with Dijakovic. Like, you could see an underdog Kushida battling back against a bigger, longer Damian Priest, and that would be a great match. Or even Cameron Grimes, because they've had history before. You could do something, but he needs to have gold in 2020, in my
And
opinion.
he needs to have a main role.
Yeah,
No, I agree with you.
yeah,
He deserves more.
yeah, exactly. Like you said, a main role, not like one of those things where they do like a pity thing, where it's like, so you were here for 10 years, we'll give you a title for a
Yeah,
month.
we'll give you
Not
like the
like a pity thing.
24/7
Yeah,
title. Yes,
yeah.
yes. Don't do the thing that you do with Ron Killings are truth all the time. So Mr. Leek, Kushida hit his forearms and then he chopped before landing a back elbow and a kick. And then Mendoza shook off a DDT attempt, but Kushida landed a drop kick to end the sequence. And then they continue on, and Kushida eventually caught him. There's a lot of exchanges. Kushida, like you said, a lot of cruiserweight moves.
Mm.
Like it was really great because Mendoza also hit like a brainbuster and then also like a flipping splash. But then Mendoza unfortunately falls into the armbar and then got the submission for the win. I
Yeah, that
think
was
to
a
me
good
Kushida
spot. Yeah,
needs
because they were up.
a
They
little
were up.
bit more though. You
Yeah,
know,
they were up on the top rope, and that's the thing. Unfortunately, this match was just kind of thrown in there because it was exciting, it was cool, but like you said, it's not a main storyline. This isn't like a storyline. It was a thing to get it gets Kushida a win. So hopefully that again, it's a slow thing. It gets him a win, and then these big three, you could call them Dijakovic, Lee, and Priest. They have their feuds, and once that dust settles, then maybe Kushida kind of steps up to the plate. That's something I'm hoping to see. But, like I said, Kushida gets the win. That was a legit spot. They were up on the top rope. He had the Kimura lock, or the hoverboard lock, as he calls it. He fought out of it, but then they did. I thought they were going to do like a Spanish fly or something off the top rope, but he fell, and like you said, he landed right into the armbar. Legit spot. And then, he got the
and then
submission
done,
victory. Done.
and then done, and then done. A legit spot. And now we move on. Hopefully for Kushida, like we want to see him, winning good, matches after matches. We want to keep building for Kushida. We want him to go back to that role that he deserves to be in. So we
Mm-hmm.
get to see one of like Prince Pretty,
Mm-hmm.
Tyler Breeze. Tyler Breeze, legit. And
Yeah,
then
yeah.
he's doing an interview with like the replacement for Kelly Kelly. He's like talking about like how do you feel about the performance center having holding NXT. That's where a lot of stars were born. That's like the place where like a lot of stars like rise to the top. And then we get to see Austin Theory. He walked up to him and then he was talking to Tyler Breeze and like yeah, like I used to see you when I was like maybe like 5-6 years ago on my TV. It's like it's a shame that like you just became a jobber. So Theory said that like some people don't pan out to being a superstar. There you go. And then Breeze took a photo of him, and then he said he looks great for a flash in the pan.
Yeah, that was a legit line. Like you said, Austin Theory, man, he's one of those. You see a lot of these guys like Rhea Ripley, MJF, Chris Statlander, all these like young 22, 23-year-old talents are just like killing it with the promo work and everything. It's like, the talent is crazy how young they are. Velveteen Dream, I think he's only 24, 25. He's still really young. So, like, the future's bright for professional wrestling. And Austin Theory, all these lines he says legit. But like you gotta love how Prince Pretty Tyler Breeze gets the last one in there. You look pretty good for a flash in the pan.
No,
Legit line. And to me, if I'm booking this thing, this is a feud. This isn't a one-off and then done. Thanks, Tyler Breeze. Go back to streaming Twitch. To me, this is you get Tyler Breeze. He gets Austin Theory can win this feud and move on because clearly your stock is in him. But I would give Tyler Breeze the first victory.
do
I'd have
a
I'd have this be
series.
a
Do
feud
a
because
series.
then it's
Yes.
like that. Yeah, have him win the first one, and then Austin Theory win the next two, and then it's done. Because
Yes.
then it looks like Tyler Breeze. Hey, he's the veteran. He got one over on the young guy. He humbles him a little bit, and then but Austin Theory, the experience, the speed, the strength, all that stuff, wins out in the end. So.
Yeah. I wouldn't be upset with that. So hopefully they keep elaborating. Of course, this sets up a match for next week. We'll
Mm.
see what the status on everything is because once again, there's a lot of concerns in the world, but like the world of professional wrestling never stops. And hopefully the whole world gets what we always said. Wrestling never stops and neither do we. So that hopefully that's the attitude of everybody in the globe. So Mr. Egg, we get a promo from the women's champion NXT, Rhea Ripley. She cuts a promo on Charlotte Flair, and then she's trying to say that like she feels the pressure, but knocking the queen on her royal ass, it will be a great thing to get through. So then Charlotte comes back to the Performance Center, comes back to NXT TV, and
Mhm.
then the one thing that I really love is like the whole crowd was chanting,
Yep.
"You don't go here, you don't
Yep.
go
They
here."
are
Like
like,
she
yeah,
couldn't
go
even
back
talk.
to Raw. Go back
Go
to
back
Raw.
to. She's like,
Back to
"Oh,
Raw.
I got it. I know, I
Yeah, and
know."
I love how somebody said something, and she looked like somebody must have said something, and that was like the only thing she heard out of everybody chanting, because she's like turned her head, like immediately stared at this person. She's like, "You shut up and sit down," and I was like, "This is the crowd made this promo. Like, let's say this was empty arena. This promo is like a 3.5, a 4 from when Charlotte came out, because Ray, like I said, Ray is good, pretty good on the mic. I prefer her more as a heel than a baby
Charlotte,
face. But
Charlotte.
yeah, as a baby face, she's not as good. She's a lot better as a heel. But Charlotte is usually abysmal, promo work. But the crowd made this, in my opinion, so much better. They took this from like a 4 out of 10 to like a 7, 8 out of 10. The
And this
crowd
is what
really made
we said many times before. We said that like the crowds is also like the last piece in the puzzle. Is like
hmm
because we make that the energy, the
hmm
performer gets excited for seeing the crowd excited, and
yeah,
those levels of excitement is a relationship that is
yeah,
like back and forth. And
yeah.
like you said,
That's
like I think that what the girl said is like, "Do you watch Raw Break or something like that?"
yeah, yeah, yeah. And she's like, "You shut up and sit down." She's like, "I don't watch them, and that's why we don't like the Queen."
That's right. It's like, well, it's like Jean Paul's legit. It's like you shut up and I'm like, no, it's like, he's
Yeah.
legit. What the hell? Like we're gonna start talking crap on Almas and Charlotte. So anyway, so like you said, Jean Paul go back to Raw chance and everything. So Flair just she tried like she did a great job like going against what the crowd had to say. She dominates the crowd pretty well by now. 6 years she's been on into this like every single day. So she says that it's WrestleMania and it's not about the stadium or the 80,000 people chanting her name. She said that Rhea won't be able to handle the Queen at the grandest stage of them all, but then she's gonna throne, she's gonna drown the fastest rising star in WWE, and there's not a damn thing that she can do about it. So then Rhea Ripley tackled Charlotte Flair, and then she got the upper hand, and then the go back to Raw chance started. So they had a little bit of an interaction. Then Ripley fought back, and then Flair dragged her out of the ring and grabbed her leg around the ring post, and then she did a figure four. And and Rhea sold the hell out of that because Rhea was
Oh
like,
yeah,
"Oh my God,
definitely.
it's done,
Yep.
it's done." She's tapping out. I'm like, "Oh, I like how she's promoting her show. Thank you
Uh,
so much, Rhea Ripley." But I mean, she needs to have the upper hand, so that means that maybe next week on Monday Night Raw, it will be Ripley's town. Time for get the upper hand on Charlotte. So we'll see. The rivalry is, I think, to me, is turning out to be decent. I don't
yeah.
think that is, out of the, blowing me
No,
away,
no,
but it's okay.
to me, you're not gonna get this match over on their promos back and forth. That's not gonna sell me on the match. What the main thing is, both of these women are extremely talented. So in the ring is what's gonna sell me. But like this hasn't been bad though. This has been better than I thought. Like I said, the crowd really helped this, interaction between the two women tonight, and that's the one thing I want to see. If indeed, like I said, Raw and all those shows moving forward are in this smaller atmosphere, then I want to see how each segment is affected then, because you get a lot of times in these crowds, you see a lot of people are, on their phones, or like we said in our Elimination Chamber review. Check it out if you haven't, like we got people running up and down the freaking aisles during the matches, so it's
Can we
like
live?
nobody does that during an NXT or Full Sail. People will like people will hold it. If they gotta go,
Hold
they'll
your
be like, too
freaking
bad, they'll hold
pee.
it.
It's only 2 hours. We did it for 4.5, so it is
Mhm.
doable.
Yeah,
Okay?
that's what I like. I don't understand. So I feel like at the smaller venues like this, you'll get the more legit crowd, an intimate crowd, and I feel like that'll really help everything moving forward if that's the case. So you know, like you said, this match, you're not being blown away by it, but it will be a good match.
It will be. Yes. Hopefully, Rhea Ripley retains. I mean, we're gonna go, of course, previews and predictions. You know how Roberg operates. It will, but so far, I think that that's where they're heading towards to. So good interaction for what it was for this show. We get the second match, the qualifiers for the ladder match at NXT Takeover Tampa. Tegan Knox, my girl, my fab, against Diana Peraza. Match really quickly. Not anything out of this world. No intervention outside or anybody. Nothing out of this world.
Hmm.
But Tegan,
Shining Wizard and done.
Shining Wizard, the shiniest. They don't even call it the Shining Wizard. The shiniest wizard of all, and done. Of course, the Cannonball. Tegan Knox to me, she deserves everything. A whole year of her life, she had to wait for the injury. She's absolutely legit. Diana Peraza, though, she's a Hispanic. Like, I'm rooting for her too. Hopefully, she gets, a little bit more exposure. I think that's only the beginning for her. Like our girl, Jean Paul, Miss Catalina. Like, I know that she's doing like some house shows for NXT. She's still wearing the mask, although Sin
That's
Cara is not
legit.
even there anymore. But I hope that she gets a little bit more
I
exposure.
love mass, so that's legit.
Yes.
Never
So
take
Tegan,
the
like we
mask
said,
off, baby.
like Jean Paul said, like I think that's the reason why this man right here, Mr. Laek, already booked that part of the ladder match, so that we know why is that gonna be. And now we're gonna take you to some of the spots. Tegan Knox landed an elbow, and then Peraza got up with her knees and on a cannonball and landed a bicycle kick for a 2 count. Then Peraza locked Knox into the armbar, but like she got out, so that was cool. But you could see how Tegan, like, she was still with the kinesio tape and everything, and she was like kind of like like because she felt the effects of the whole. But then Tegan Knox once again, the shiniest wizards of all. And you know what, Jean Paul? I love her, but I don't think her shining wizard is that legit.
No, last
Not in
time,
fact,
like to me, Asuka hits a better Shining Wizard.
Asuka, Adam Cole, I will say, na na na. Na, na,
Asuka.
na, 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 na,
That's
na,
I don't
na.
know if you can see it, but I got the Asuka T-shirt on, so
Yes,
I gotta
so
represent my girl. So
that's right. Like so,
that.
that was cool to see Tegan Knox getting the
Mhm.
win. Okay, we have already three qualifiers. We have Mia Yim, we have Chelsea Green, and now we have Tegan Knox. So pretty
Yeah,
cool. We'll see. We have already three more spots.
yeah,
They
and
still have 3 weeks of
I
build up.
think next week I saw one match. They might have shown more, but it was, and this match really intrigues me. And while we're on the subject of this, it's Mercedes Martinez and Candice LeRae.
Yes,
To
yes,
me, that those they should both be in it.
yes,
I think if anybody needs to be left out, I think you got to have Candice LeRae lose.
yeah,
And that's a shame because I love Candice, but the thing is like we said, Mercedes Martinez, she's been doing this what 13, 14 years. She's
yeah.
older. Like the time is now, like you got it. Like like she's not getting any younger. That's the thing. I'm not saying that she already has a foot in the grave or anything like that, but to me, she's got to be featured because what would be the point? Like, oh, so like we brought you in here just to lose,
Yeah,
like you got
no.
to
I
do
mean, if you're
something
gonna
with
do
her.
something with her, it is the best and only time is right
Yeah,
now.
because I don't know how hurt Io Shirai is. I don't know what all that is, but you could totally have some. Candice is going to win this match. Io Shirai comes down, and then you squeeze one more match out of those two. That's a way to get her out when she doesn't look as weak, but Martinez still moves on. There's lots of things you could do, but I thought both of them would actually be in the ladder match, but instead they're facing each other for the right to be in the ladder
That's
match.
very interesting, Jean Paul, and you're absolutely right. Hopefully, like we'll see. We'll see what happens next week. But like if anything, I'm right in the same path as you are, the same alley because I want Mercedes Martinez to move along. I just think Candice, like she can be in all their other feuds. We'll see what they do on that. But it will be a great match. Maybe a return of Io Shirai. That will be really legit. That will enhance the episode of NXT. And now we go to like but before that, we have like the whole undisputed era is coming out,
Mm,
but
mm,
they're
mm.
trying to cut a promo, of course, and he's saying Adam Cole, baby. He's saying like, hey, next week I'm going to be the longest NXT champion of all time, and then we get to see Patrick Clark, the Velveteen Dream. I love the way that like he dresses and the
Mhm.
way he carries himself. The character to me is even better than what Goldust ever was. Because the way he even the way he talks, the way he speaks, the way you can tell like he's
Mhm.
like with a dream, like talking in
Yeah.
third person and
Yeah.
all of that.
Well, to go into that, like you said, you bring up Goldie. To me, Dustin Rhodes, like Goldust was a gimmick that it was a legit gimmick. It's not as good as the Undertaker, but it's a legit gimmick because of how like weird and overly sexual he was, and that causes a lot of tension in the wrestling ring, and pisses your opponent off, gets in their head, so it all makes sense. But I don't think Dustin Rhodes was the right person for that gimmick. somebody like Patrick Clark is, but he twisted it to be, instead of more like a leathery, like, fetish person, he twisted it more like Prince. But
Yes.
to me, Gold Dust is what we saw last night on AEW, where he's like, you know what? I'm sick of this inner circle running roughshod. Hangman, I'm your partner. I don't give a damn. Let's do some cowboy shit. Like
Oh
that
yeah.
pissed off
I
Texan,
don't
like,
give a
I'm going to
damn whether
kick.
you like
Yeah,
it or not. Then now
yeah,
let's go out and let's do some cowboy shit.
yeah. To me, that's like what he was meant to be. Something like that. So, like, I agree with you on what you said. Patrick Clark, the Velveteen Dream is way better, and I like the way he talks. Like he said in this promo, he's like, one, two, three little men in this ring, and then I think he called them ladies. He's like, ladies, please calm down.
Yeah.
And he's like, I have all three of my eyes on you, Adam Cole. Because he's all like, there's the Illuminati stuff in there. His third eye, his sunglasses have the third eye. Dragon Ball Z fans, Tien Shin Han.
Dancing
He
Han.
had, yep, he had
Yeah.
the third eye. So it's all legit. Yep. That's
Ada.
what he'll be doing to Adam Cole at Tampa, I think.
Yeah.
But
Or he
but,
does the
but
trick
then,
that like he like turns into a lot of them.
yeah,
Yeah.
that would be
That's a
legit.
that's a legit move. Yeah. And like he's even talking about the Undisputed Era, about all these things. And he says, well, his eyes have always been in the NXT Championship, but before like the thing keeps going, because Roderick Strong is also, he called him like, loser. He called him dumber than all the three
Oh
of them.
yeah, I love that one. He's like Roderick. He's like, dude, they're just tights. He's like, I don't care about your stupid family or you. He's like you said, he was only going after the championship. He's like, if anything, this just proves that you're dumber than you look.
Yeah, it's dumber than you look. And then it's like they're going all, they're getting all like rattled off and everything. But he said, ladies, hold on. He's like, well, I have a thing for you. And then he like snaps the fingers, and then
Yeah.
bro. And then we get to see the two
And then
stallions.
Pete Dunne's theme is legit too.
Oh
Like,
yeah,
we
and
love
then
Bro, we love Matt Riddle, but then I love. I don't usually like when the themes transition to each other. To me, it's lazy. Like when they did it with Asuka and Kairi Sane, I'm like, really? But now the new Kabuki Warriors theme is legit.
he's a little
So
better. Yeah.
yeah, I would like to maybe see them do something like that with the Broserweights, but I feel like it's because they're not a long-term team. They're a team who's going to have a couple months title reign, and then they're going to lose it and then go back into the singles role. So I feel like that's why they're not doing it, because I'm a big mark for title themes. If your title theme sucks, I'm usually not into you. I'm like, well,
It is
like,
true.
it's the
It
most
is true.
important thing.
Another example of that, like merging the themes, like that never worked out. It was Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt.
Yeah,
Remember, he was
that
like,
was all.
he's like,
Yeah, the
"Thank
laugh.
you, fly, delete, delete, delete."
Yeah.
Like,
The
no.
bullshit. That
Like
was
the
a
only
that was
one,
a bullshit tag team. Who did they beat? They were feuding with the B team. Like, what is that?
and they lost the titles to the B team.
Oh
So
yeah,
there you
what
go.
is that?
That tells you everything. That tells you the whole story. But this match, Broserweights having their hands with the Undisputed Era, again, legit match. There was a lot of interference also because of like Roderick Strong, Adam Cole, and in the middle of all of this, the grizzled young veterans, they came and tried to help out, and in the end, it seemed like there was going to be a title change, but in the end, bro, the Stallions keep the championships, and rightfully so, because you're not going to pull a title change this early in the game when they just got the championships.
No, the earliest you're gonna do it, and I wouldn't be surprised or shocked anything if it happened at Tampa. I feel like that would be the earliest you're gonna do it. You're not gonna do any title changes really for anybody until Tampa.
Yes, yes, and then everything because of all this situation with the coronavirus and everything. I think they have to rewrite the whole thing. There's been many rumors. Maybe you and me will do a special episode on that. We're not pumping it up, but maybe we will do. But like, there's so many things. Like people were asking me, like, Juan, what would you do if like they will cancel WrestleMania? I'm like, take it to the UK. Do something like that. The UK people, like the British people, they deserve to have a WrestleMania. They've been asking that for years. Because it's like, oh well, Tampa, like maybe they're booked for other things, everything. We don't know where they're going with everything on all of this. But like you said, if there is something happening to make people watch, to force people to watch, there's gonna stop like getting the title switches right away.
Yeah.
And when it comes to itself, I enjoy Matt Riddle's work. He did that whole sequence with the whole Undisputed Era. He did like the forearms, and then he did like the cannonballs, and then he did the knees. Great stuff.
Yeah. Matt Riddle is extremely. There was one thing I noticed. He was delivering some kicks. Now this is later on in the end of this match. I mean, he delivers kicks like he looks like he's kicking your 90-year-old grandma. But then he hits elbows, forearms, and knee strikes like he's trying to break through a brick wall. So I'm like, maybe these kicks were just a little light. Maybe, I don't know what it was. Maybe he was exhausted. But I was like,
Mm.
bro, like, come
And
on
you're
with
like,
these kicks.
bro, and
Yeah, like, what's going on with these kicks?
yeah,
But
no,
I mean,
I agree, I
otherwise,
agree
like,
with
he's like legit. And like again, there's no way. I say it before, even though it's a match that we've seen before, we've seen it once, we've seen it twice. It's always going to be legit because there's no
you.
way these four guys can put on a match that isn't legit.
Absolutely, and at least they're gonna be at those feud. Again, it might be a triple threat, no, or it might be the Grizzled Your Veterans going against the Undisputed Era and Matt Riddle and Dunn, or just Riddle and Dunn against just the Grizzled Young Veterans. Well,
Hmm.
I don't know what they're gonna do, but if they try to feature everybody in the car, might as well just take the name and change it for like NXT Takeover Tampa to Triple Threat Mania. I'm
And
just
it and
saying.
it's triple threat.
NXT triple threat. So let's go with some spots. Kyle turned down inside out with a clothesline of the ropes. Then Riddle and Fish took tags, and then Matt landed a ripcord knee strike. Then he tried for a German suplex, but then Fish and O'Reilly got the tag, and then he hit a knee off the top rope for a 2 count. Then the Resumen and the Undisputed Era tried to get involved once again, and of course, like that one thing I really appreciate about this particular spot is like Riddle and Dunn, they're like talking to the ref. He's like, oh yeah, he tried to super kick.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
Riddle,
yeah.
there's like, oh, he did this, he did. I'm
And
like,
then the
what the
refs
fuck?
like looking back and forth, like,
Yeah,
who do I side with? And
and
then
then the
he's
ref
like,
of course goes Audrey Edwards, and then he goes like,
yep,
you're
yep.
out, you're out. And then they get kicked off. Then Pete Dunne continue his advantage until Fish hit a dragon screw through the ropes. They continue on, and then the Grizzled Young Veterans ran down to get involved in the match, and they were eventually taken care of after a knee from Matt Riddle. Then Dunne hit his finisher of a fireman's carry, and they won the match. So, like, see, the Grizzled Young Veterans actually they hit
Yeah,
Pete Dunne,
yeah.
and then
What a one. Matt Riddle went through the ropes, and who's the bald one? Is it James Drake?
no, Gibson.
Gibson, yeah, he like it almost just looked like he poked him in the eyes. I don't, but I assume he like maybe punched him or went to like throat chop him or whatever. But he hit Riddle in the face, and then it was Fisher O'Reilly. One of them rolled up Riddle, and I was like, shit, it's done. I thought it
Yeah,
was done. I thought it was like four-time tag champs. Like, come on. But
yeah.
then the bro kicked out, so it was legit. And like you said, the young veterans were taken out, and then Pete Dunne, scores the pinfall, and it was a legit match. You knew there wasn't going to be no title change. It wouldn't have made sense, like we said earlier, with any of these matches. But a triple threat would be legit at Tampa. My only problem with it is like the Undisputed Era, like how many times do they need to be in the main event? Let other people shine. The issue is there is no other tag teams.
Yeah.
You had the Grizzled Young Veterans and go against the Forgotten Sons. Well, how did that go? The Forgotten Sons, we make the joke every time. The Forgotten Sons are called the Forgotten Sons for a reason.
Yes.
And it seems like
Yes.
Alex Shelley signed the same contract that Jeff Cobb did. 2, 3 appearances and done. So
Yeah.
I don't know what you're doing with Kushida and Alex Shelley. That's a shame if that's not a tag team for your future to build up. If you're not, hopefully if that's not or if that is the case, then you're going to build Kushida as a single star, like I said earlier. But I think that's the reason why is because they have no tag teams.
And man, that's like you said, and also the fact that they had to build the Grizzled Young Veterans from the UK.
Mhm.
And according to Jean Paul, there's breaking news that like actually the government is allowing flights to go back and forth from the United Kingdom. So they're
Mhm.
good because
Yeah,
otherwise they will be like, oh, we gotta live like with Dunn and the Stallion, with
yeah,
Bro Stallion, because we can't even go back. We're
yeah.
done. The whole situation is done, family. It's bad. So hopefully, like, is to me, I will do aside of all the joking that we do because wait, we like to have fun here. Road break is about having fun with the family. That's
Mhm.
why Jean Paul and I became friends, became this best tag team in the whole sports entertainment history because we have fun. We like to keep it fun for all of you. But aside of that, it would be a better just a one-on-one match. Like the Grizzled Young Barons going against the Broserweights. I think that makes more sense. And
Mhm.
if you're gonna do a title switch, maybe that will be the right avenue to go. That's at least what I think, and I know probably you agree with me, Jean Paul. So thank you for agreeing with me. Closing segment of the day. Tommaso Ciampa and Gargano are fighting backstage, and then Gargano goes into the wall and over the table. Gargano threw the office supplies, and Ciampa and Gargano they start hitting with the posters. Like it was just a whole mess.
Yeah, and like all of this, beforehand. So like Champa comes out, and he's looking for Gargano, and Gargano he comes on, and I like everything he said before the the beatdown started. The beatdown obviously was the main attraction, but before this he was like he pretty much said like you were an asshole. Like he's like you don't know me, but I know everything about you. Like you were this heel. For we had this feud, and you go out and then 8 months, whatever it was, you come back, and he's like, suddenly all your sins are forgiven, and everybody's like, oh, daddy's home, and he's like, why do people just forget? He's like, what did you do? He's like, you never had to, suffer for what you did, like what you did. And then
Yeah,
he's like, we're gonna do it my way, and you know what? Like it all makes sense. I mean, when you look in at it from real life, you're like, hey, this guy could have died, his career could have been done, and it's like he came back, so that's legit. So you're gonna cheer him for that real life reasons. But if you look at it this all just from a storyline purpose, Johnny Gargano is 100% in the right. Because he's
oh
like,
yeah,
well, why should you forgive Ciampa? He was an asshole, attacking people with the crutch and doing all this other, heel type moves. Why would why would you forgive everything he did? Everything with Candice involved and all that, the feud from how long ago. So, and that's the thing that I really like, and it really makes me, in this, I mean, I do like Gargano a little more than Ciampa overall, but it makes me side with Gargano in this feud.
yeah. No, because he's telling he's bringing real life into this storyline, and it's absolutely the truth. He's like, why all of a sudden like he leaves and then he's legit, and
Mm-hmm.
that shows also how fragile the human mind is.
Mm-hmm.
We always tend to be so like forgetful about real things that impact our lives and that they make us feel certain type of way. And then when they come back, and they even happens in real life, like I said,
Yeah, like
I've seen
what if
it.
when the Undertaker, let's say the Undertaker crucifies Stone Cold and does all this stuff, and then that night he blows his hamstring or tears his Achilles, and he's out for how many months? When he comes back, he gets a babyface pop. It's like, no, the last thing you did was you crucified Stone Cold.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
exactly.
he would come back and he would get a. But see, that's the thing. They don't debut them in a heel role. They debut them as a babyface.
Yes.
When they make their comeback, they don't come out doing a heel type thing. They come out as a babyface. So that's also a booking thing. But like you said, back into this beatdown, how legit was it though? Like it didn't seem like a choreographed garbage fight. Everything seemed like legit. They're constantly looking around like, what can I use as a weapon? What can I throw at each other? It was all like it all seemed super legit. And I commented AEW on that in the Dynamite review. I said how their fights and backstage, beat downs and everything look legit and they look real. And then NXT's like, Jean Paul, you're an NXT mark. Remember, we're gonna prove we can do it too.
We're
And
gonna
that's what I think.
yeah. Come
Yeah,
back,
and
my
that's right.
son.
Yeah. They were about to like they kicked out at like 2.9. They're like, no. They got their shoulder up. They're like, don't give up on us. And then they
Yes.
had this legit, everything from when he threw his. Oh, I mean, you're gonna take us through it, but when he threw his head through the door,
Yeah.
the glass on the door, that was really legit.
That was absolutely
And I
amazing.
think Champa threw like I don't know if it was a weight for like a barbell or if he just threw like a dumbbell weight, but he threw a weight and it completely exploded that glass mirror. That was so
That was
legit.
it was intense. So you will like what we're gonna see at NXT Takeover Tampa is gonna be really amazing. Like Jean Paul said, those spots, and then security tried to stop them, but the roll continued. They kept going, and then went to the arena, and eventually went to the Crow's Nest arena area. So the top, all the way in the top, and then Ciampa and El Gargano, and then they were like kind of setting it up, and you can see Beth Phoenix and Ronaldo. No, no, no,
Yeah, and
please,
then
Johnny.
Gargano had him in the Gargano
The
escape.
Gargano
He had him
escaped.
in the lock. Champa fights out, and then we saw the same from flashback to War Games, air
Yes.
raid crash, and
The air
done.
raid crash in the balcony through the announce table and done. And
That
like
was
even to
legit.
add more,
Yep.
more realism, like William Regal came out and everybody's just like, oh my gosh. It was really like a really well executed ending for
Yeah.
NXT. And this is gonna set up like for a really great
And
match.
and to me, I apologize to all the people who have brains like a steel trap. But did Gargano and Champa ever have like an I Quit match?
They did.
Okay, because
They did.
I'm trying to think
Well,
if
it
this.
wasn't like I quit. It wasn't I quit. It was just a last man standing. It was a last
Okay,
man standing match. Yes.
I would do an I quit match.
That was I will do. I will do
That
that.
I would do an I quit match because last man standing, there can be bullshit where the person can still fight, but if you trap them under like a forklift or some kind of bullshit, then it's like, well, they can't stand, so it's
Yes.
done. So,
You know
but
what I
like
will do?
on I quit is like you have to verbally say that you submit to your opponent. So I
Yes.
think that that would be, that's the only way that you can blow off the feud at this point.
I will do loser goes to the main roster. I will say it like that.
Oh God, no! Then they will be fighting till
Till
2050.
death, yeah, till
Yeah,
death. It's like loser
till
goes to
death
the main
do us
roster.
part.
Yeah, it's like you go to like like Ricochet main event. Like
Yeah.
you go from like being legit on NXT, then you go like Super Showdown, and then you go to like main event. That's where you will fight. No, but like going along like what you said. Hopefully they done a stipulation like that. I don't know if I quit. I love the idea, but they just did a I quit match between Kaylee Ray and Tony Storm for the United Kingdom, the women's one. But I don't know if they will go that. But I would love the idea. I quit.
Mm-hmm.
They have to add
Yeah,
another
to me, just
stipulation.
because I don't want to see like an Extreme Rules or a backstage brawl, or I don't want to see no bullshit like that. To me, like the only way I can think to blow off a hated, you know, blood feud like this is an I quit match. That's the only thing, because it's like I'm gonna beat you until you say you quit. I'm not gonna pin your shoulders. I'm not gonna make you tap out. You have to say that I quit.
Yes.
And to me, that's like that's the only way to blow something like this
The
off.
only
Unless
way to finish this
yeah,
situation.
I mean, if this was main roster, then I would say hell in
In
a
a cell.
cell.
Yes, this is
But
the only way. Maybe they do that. You never know.
but it's not main roster and it's not October, so
It
there's
is true.
no hell in a
In a cell.
cell.
So, Rubric family, this concludes the review. What a great show NXT gave us. More stuff coming from the Performance Center. We'll be back with you guys from SmackDown. Still advertised John Cena, Jeff Hardy, and a returning Paige to talk to Bailey about her run and everything. So, yep, Charismatic Enigma is coming back. John Cena probably, since it's not going to be in Detroit, it's going to be Performance Center. Probably a video package that he might do. Those little things from WWE hyping WrestleMania. We'll get more updates of what's going on with the current status of WrestleMania and everything else. And please, don't forget to subscribe for the new members of the family. Hit that bell also for all the notifications. Every single day we put content.
Yeah, because like I say, when he says every day, he means every day. And you think, well, wrestling's not every day. But like I told you guys already, if you're not, watch all these FIFA videos, man. They're short, they're sweet, they're legit. And like I said, by Friday, I better be seeing 10, 11 thumbs up on these things. I gave you guys a goal in Dynamite. I'm going to reiterate it here. Let's get those videos uploaded because, like I said, we're doing all avenues here on Rope Break. It's
All
wrestling,
avenues, and there's even
wrestling,
more stuff coming for
yeah,
us.
we like wrestling. It's legit, we dabble a little bit, but we also like to do other stuff as well. So please,
That's absolutely
support
the
that.
truth.
And like Juan said, if you're new here, click subscribe. And if you're already subscribed and if you haven't followed us on all social media, do that. Facebook, we post lots of updates, every breaking news as soon as we see it. On Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, we have posts and clips, reviews as well.
Absolutely right. So, in the name of Jean Paul and myself, thank you so very much. We'll be right back for SmackDown Live. Another. Let's hope that for the Performance Center is a good show. So please, let's hope SmackDown. Don't let me down. Don't be coronavirus. And all
Mhm.
of you, please wash your hands, like we put on the meme that I put on Facebook on the Road Break page. Wash these hands, like Braun Strowman will say. In the name of Jean Paul and myself, we're gonna say have a great evening, and also.
Uh,